The trucker convoy narrative continues to crumble.
Individuals are trying to blockade our economy, our democracy, and our fellow citizens' daily lives. It has to stop.
Is he talking about the truckers? Because it sounds like everything he's been guilty of. And multiple news agencies shine a spotlight on an arson fire, insinuating violent truckers started it. Never mind, no truckers are actually in that area. And do these look like truckers protesting mask mandates? A puffy coat, a mask hanging from the ear. And multiple news agencies suddenly seem to care about the economy. Where is the outrage when the government and elites impede the economy with draconian restrictions? And as long as MSM is talking about violence, how much did you hear about this? An actual terror attack against the Freedom Convoy. The driver who mowed people down, the suspect identified as an Antifa member pedophile, not a freedom-defending trucker. You know what else is violent? Arresting an elderly man in this manner for unnecessary noise, or in other words, honking his horn. Bringing you what's ignored, sensationalized, unbalanced, misleading, or just plain false, here's your media malfeasance for the second week of February. The COVID narrative also continues to crumble.
I don't think anyone really is saying that no one should ever wear masks, but rather that the responsibility should shift from a government mandate imposed from the state or the local district of the school. Rather, it should shift to an individual responsibility by the family.
You mean what some of us were saying 2 years ago?
And in this case, circumstances have changed. Case counts are declining. Also, the science has changed.
Science changes? I think you mean political science. Changes much like this CNN contributor's own talking points.
I have an almost 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. I cannot wait until they're eligible to receive the vaccine. I agree that masks are a very powerful layer of protection, but it's one layer. And if we have so many other layers that are present, masking may be one that could go away. If you want to stay unvaccinated, that's your choice. But if you want to travel, you better go get that vaccine.
And fact check. Healthline says the vaccines are less effective against Omicron. Speaking of fact checks, the Tegna Verify team pretends it's fact checking the changing definition of vaccine.
Several viewers, including Mike, emailed Verify asking, did the CDC change its definition of vaccine? So Mike, let's verify.
Now she's going to go ahead and tell you, true, that the definition was changed. So why are we using the word alleged?
The word immunity isn't included in the latest definition. Instead, it focuses on the stimulation of the body's immune response.
So true, but they choose to play PR while they're at it, saying it's because the CDC wants to be more transparent. Say what? Since when have these federal health agencies wanted to be more transparent? Isn't the FDA still trying to hide the data used to approve the Pfizer vaccine? After not getting the 75 years they asked for to produce those documents, it's not backing down. More delays. Also catching up with the rest of us seems to be the Surgeon General, who now acknowledges the pandemic's impact on the mental health of our youth.
No shit, Sherlock!
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported last year that emergency department visits for suicide attempts among teen girls were up more than 50% at the beginning of the pandemic compared to the same period in 2019. Yeah, lockdowns, masking, forced vaccinations, they're just as oppressive on kids as the rest of us. You know, the lockdown measures those fringe epidemiologists warned against in the Barrington Declaration, and then were vindicated by a study that showed the stay-at-home orders made no difference. And it's looking like CNN just cannot get past 0 days since a sex scandal, with a jury trial ordered for Don Lemon's sex assault case. Maybe it should now just be called CXXXN. Emails now reveal what we already know about the New York Times' straight-up bias. The Federalist obtained emails through a FOIA request that show correspondence between the New York Times and Biden's Interior Department. Phrases like, "Sorry, we're so annoying," and shelving stories, per the department's request. When shown to the chief of staff for the EPA under Trump, she says, We had reporters straight up tell us they wouldn't come cover events because they would never write a positive story about the Trump administration. And then there were other instances where they would just straight up spread false information. And finally, in case you missed it, Bloomberg almost brought us straight into nuclear war with its error. Here is the headline. Statement on publishing error. We prepare headlines for many scenarios, and the headline Russia invades Ukraine was inadvertently published around 4 p.m. Eastern on our website. We deeply regret the error. The headline has been removed, and we're investigating the cause. Well, that's all I can fit this week with your Media Malfeasance. I'm Christy Lee.